this video. So I coincidentally watched, I don't even know why and how I watched this live stream of Zelenskyy and Trump's meeting in the Oval Office. I was working and I clicked on it because this is the first time ever I watch Zelenskyy's meetings, because I had a certain feeling about Zelenskyy since the beginning. But this time, and apparently what happened was, I guess, the reason why, so I can make the analysis accurately for you, because right after that, the media is displaying this in such a way that literally, psychologically and sociologically, if you read the room, if you watch the entire Oval Office meeting from A to Z, that's not how it went. And when we talk about, and I literally, this was number one proof for me, what I've been saying all along since day one. JD Vance, thanks for the like, I appreciate it. JD Vance, the vice president, is the bully in the house, okay? That was initiated by JD Vance, that bullying, not by Trump, and the media is now presenting it and literally cutting JD Vance off and just showing the two fighting. No, this is not how it went. Everything was smooth until that time. And I'm not saying, and we'll get to that, why the entire this agreement is such a it's disgrace. It's a money grab, and it is absolutely extortion for the Ukraine. I mean, we will talk about this. We will talk about everything regarding that agreement and all that, what I'm thinking about it, because I haven't talked for quite some time. So we'll talk about that. But let's focus on what happened today in the Oval Office. If you forget about what this agreement is all about, if you just focus on the event of the meeting, it went smooth until the minute or 48 minutes or so. It went smoothly, and Trump, as he always does, this businessman, he wants to just, he's a cool, trying to smooth the room, and you could see Zelenskyy, we'll get to that also, said hi. Jay, hi Jay, how are you? Good, thanks for being here, appreciate that. So when in the Oval Office, you could see the body language of Zelenskyy. Of course, he is on the edge. And we will talk about this, because I literally was thinking about this last night. I was literally thinking to make a video about how people in the United States, thank you, Jay, how people in the United States literally don't understand what it means to have freedom, what it means to have democracy, what it means to have the right to vote, and not have authoritarianism, which in other countries, which I've literally seen. And if you also have never seen a war, what it means and what it is, then you just don't feel like the severity of the situation. And when you don't understand, for example, if there's a F-16 jet flying above you, if you never in your life experienced that out of the blue in the middle of the night as you are sleeping, then you wouldn't probably understand what it means to be in a war. That I experienced that. In fact, I don't know how that happened, but I was in the day of the coup in Turkey in 2017 or something. I think it was 2017 when the coup happened. I was there, in the first time in my entire life. I lived through it the moment the coup happened on TV. We were sitting with my family, we were sitting, and the TV, literally we were watching the news. The moment the news switched into a coup, presentation. And then the whole night, the F-16 jets flying above us, I've never in my entire life have experienced anything like this. So it is important to understand what it means to be in the war. It's creeped the heck out of me. I was so scared. And if you know when F-16 jet flies above you, because they're flying faster than the sound, it's like when they fly, it's like a bomb, like this is how they fly above you. It's like a bomb sound. And it is so scary. And I cannot even imagine to be in a war zone and for so long, for any country, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm saying is, it is hard, I understand, for people living in the United States or in Germany or in other, like, I don't know, European countries where democracy and, peace is there. And I think we just have to be grateful and thankful and not really rock the boat as much and just praising to be in a country where you don't have any voice anymore. And I've seen this in other countries where I visited, and I've seen live how my friends who were journalists lost their jobs because they were not allowed to speak and write as they were doing their job. And so I've lived through this, and that's why I'm saying it is just so important that people understand how important it is to live in a country that's free, that you can vote, that you have a voice, that you have democracy and freedom. It is so precious, and we should really just million times be grateful for our great fathers and mothers to saved countries to be able to have this, that we live such like, spread our behinds in a chair and a couch and have popcorn and enjoy our lives. This is important that we understand this. This is number one. So in the Oval Office, as I was watching, everything went smooth, and Trump was, the businessman he is. He was just like, the deal, whatever. We will talk about the deal later. But then I didn't even know. I only thought that the tour in the Oval Office and the journalists are in the room. And then suddenly J.D. Vance talked, and he started to become aggressively bulldozering over J.D. Vance. But in a way, he was speaking as he is the bully in the school, and there is this kid and he's bullying. Did you think? And the way he did this, and I hope I can show this to you in a way. I don't have the technology right now, but I can show this to you right here, that I want to analyze this with you so that the media misrepresented this. It started with J.D. Vance, not by Trump. And because if you see in my thumbnail, Trump was sitting as J.D. Vance was talking, and he wasn't even reacting. Then when J.D. Vance went on and on and on and started to bulldozer himself on to J.D. Vance, then the second he also included himself, and then two people started to bully. And I want to show that moment for you, okay? So let's scroll over. The rest you can watch it, but that one I want to particularly show that to you. So let's scroll over all the way until until here, 44 minutes, okay? So I hope I can show this to you right like that. Okay, let's watch this.
I'm aligned with you. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I can be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'll be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. One more question.
Hey, I would respond to this. So look, For 4
Okay.
years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
More and more people in the
Ah,
US
come
are
on.
starting to give
Shut
their
up.
families a home. It's an incredible act of love.
Okay, forget. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
yeah, but
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, yeah, the situation the same. That people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with
See,
gas contract.
In this moment, Trump is just normal, like watching and doesn't do anything.
Ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy?
So Trump does nothing. He just listens.
What
Okay, look at that. Now look.
Diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with
Look,
respect, I
look.
think it's disrespectful for you to
Bully.
go to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
Bully
Right now,
starts.
You guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring
Look at
an end to
this.
Have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you see what problems we have?
I have been to
And look at his body language. He's now just crossing his arms because he feels offended, because he's bullying.
You bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that
You see, he's crossed his arms like he's bullying me. Oh, sorry.
to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack
You see,
the
he's
administration
bullying,
that's trying to
and he's
prevent
crossing his
the
arm.
destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you.
Do you see his
have
body
nice
language?
hopes and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless. You will not
You
have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're
Okay, see, now he's including himself.
Tell us what we're gonna feel.
Okay?
I'm telling you,
Because
I'm
we're in no
not
position to
saying
dictate that.
That's exactly what
I'm
you're
not
doing.
You're in no position.
Because now the other one
We're
stopped.
gonna feel.
Just 1 second, let me just explain this to you. So when narcissists does do that, right? So one person initiates and starts, and the other person immediately is in this position, meaning you're bullying me, so I'm offended, and you can tell his body language. He's like, okay, stop, okay. Then these two, and Trump still doesn't do anything. He's just listening, right? And he's turning to JD Vance, listens to him, and then okay, he understands. Wait a minute, so now I have to be on the side with JD Vance to attack him. Then he turns and then he attacks Zelenskyy. The moment he does that, and because he has now all the power, he just talks over Zelenskyy. And what he does, then JD Vance, as narcissists always do, they remove themselves. And then the entire ball is now there. And that, how do I know that? It happened to me a million times. When someone in the room, when we three of us are in the room, a narcissist initiates, and I have experiences with close people to me, initiate, and then me and another person starts to fight, argument, and the argument turns into a fight. And that person not only doesn't say a word, that person goes away, and we end up fighting in the room over nothing. And that person is literally, I've never been here, I never said anything, I have never done anything. That's exactly a tactic of a narcissist, and that exactly this happened here. And watch, after this is now 44 minutes we start, 48 minutes. It turned into, from J.D. Vance turned into, the hand was given, flag was given now to Trump within 3-4 minutes. And after that, from 48 minutes until 105, which is 25 something minutes, Trump goes on and on and on without J.D. Vance at all. And that's exactly what the media is missing. Trump didn't initiate that. For 44 minutes, Trump and Zelenskyy had a very level-headed conversation, and everything was smooth. And both, of course, we will talk later about Zelenskyy's body language, because of course he's pissed, right? Like this is like an extortion, and he's not happy to give up his minerals and to enrich United States for nothing, right? And so that's another part. Of course he's tense because he has freaking war in his country. Of course he's tense that he has to give up stuff in order to finally end this war. I mean, imagine, put yourself in the shoes of him, right? That it's unfair. In my mind, it's unfair because you say, for example, you ask for a friend for help. And I mean, that also happened to me a million times, right? I mean, I never ask for help, but if I do, if I ask for help, and then you think that these people help you. And then in a moment later, that tiny thing, for example, I don't know, this pen here, they give me a pen, right? You're like, oh my, okay, thank you so much for a pen. And that this little pen will turn into like a, I don't know, a fabric of office supplies. I gave you all of this and I did all of this. You're like, what? You just gave me a freaking pen, like just chill, you know? And this is exactly how you would feel betrayed, because then they ask you, okay, I gave you a pen, now you give me, I don't know, your life, or you give me, I don't know, your car, your house, your whatever. Like, this is really real, and you feel betrayed. You're like, I just ask you for a freaking just pen. I mean, why do you turn this into gigantic stuff, which is so unfair, because I don't deserve this. And plus, wasn't even what I was asking for. And I thought you were my friend. I thought you were helping me. I mean, how many times I was betrayed by my friends? How many times I thought they were my friends, but they turned around and just like stepped behind my back? Million times. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be, you know, thinking that someone is your friend, but turn out to your worst enemy, you know? And I can understand his body language. Like, why do I have to give up my minerals and my most valuable assets? Because Trump is trying, we talked about this before, right? Trump is trying to develop this foreign sovereign fund, where he wants to put all the assets in the funds, right? And of course, there are other purposes for that. So he wants to get this $1 trillion fund. We talked about this in my other video, where he wants to get these the trillion, 2.7 trillion, I think, funds to fund that fund. And so that's the assets of a country. And so his asset of his country are these minerals and never to be found. And who wants this? Who wants this? Elon Musk wants this because of the lithium, right? And they have to have the lithium because of the batteries. And so, of course, who's pushing this? Who do you think would push something like this, minerals and lithium? Like, who would push that? Of course, Elon Musk would push that, because Trump wouldn't know, like, which country. He doesn't even know which country is a country, which city, what is a city, what is a country. But he wouldn't know that minerals, because he told him, he says himself that, oh, he didn't know. He was so surprised that this country has so many minerals and millions of minerals, and we will get all of that, because of course we will get that, right? And this is exactly his body language of Zelenskyy. He feels betrayed, and I understand him. He's tense, but nevertheless, for 44 minutes, there was a level-headed conversation, and Trump was fine. But then the push came from whom? J.D. Vance, not by Trump. J.D. Vance, I just show it to you. And then he disappears out of the story. I don't want to show you the rest of it, because then they start to fight, but J.D. Vance is nowhere to be found. So, and then it goes on and on and on and on and on, right? And now they're talking over him. They don't let him speak. See? See? And what he's saying, what he's doing here, see, that's the typical of narcissists, when they don't let you speak, ever. They would never let you speak. They talk over you, over you, over you, over you, over you. And this is bullying, like, full stop, because good for him that he did not allow this, and he also kept talking, and that's how it became a mess. And then he talks over, and he talks over, and he talks more over, and the other one talks more over. So there's a huge, like, talking over. And that's a narcissistic tendencies, to talk over, not to let other people speak. And I had made the narcissist, I think was 13 ways you can no one expect, like, how narcissists be, like 13, just watch my channel, 13 ways narcissists act. And that is one of the things I mentioned there. They talk over you. They don't let you speak. And this went on and on and on for, I don't know, 20 something minutes, talking over Zelenskyy. But Zelenskyy didn't give up, and he also kept pushing, because he's saying, and then J.D. Vance kept saying, did you thank the United States? Did you think?
Millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Okay, so, and that is the way he does that, like this, like this is also a way of bullying. But at the same time, the way Trump is acting here, and the words he is using, he's like, so the way both act and the way Trump act is as if this is a business transaction. And they even said that this is not a good business transaction. They treated this as a business transaction, like, you want something from me, but you are here and I'm here. I am the one who give you this, so you need to kiss my feet in order for me to give it to you. This is the way he acts. This is the body language. This is the words he is using. You are not in the position to do this. You are not in the position, meaning you are here. You cannot talk with me like this. You are here. You want from me this. Excuse me? You want from me my minerals. We are absolutely here. Just because he's in the war, it doesn't mean that he's here. No, he didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be in war. But it happened to be so that a country invaded this country, and they are in a war for years, and people have died. And so then he doesn't want to be, he come to as a country to country, and these are country presidents. Both are country presidents. But no, the way he treats him and the words he is using is as a business transaction. You want the pen from me, so you better beg for me to give you the pen that you want to from me. But you are not kissing my feet, so go elsewhere. And I am the one who has the pen. You know what I mean? So this is absolutely the disgusting part here is that Trump, that happens the same with Elon Musk. That happens when you bring business people, like corporate business people, in running a country. They don't understand. I mean, it would be so much better if you have a nonprofit leader coming there, because I was literally saying on Tuesday to one of my team members, think a nonprofit as a government, because we are run like a government, right? We have the rules, the bylaws, and these and that, the board, what have you. This is like, you know, the board approval, it's like Congress approval, what have you. So it would be much better to have a nonprofit leader to run a country rather than for-profit business, because they don't understand how government works. The system, they don't understand, because for-profit versus government are two ridiculously different stuff. It's like day and night. Nonprofit versus government, it's pretty much similar, but not for-profit businesses. And this is the transaction type style, business style that he brings into the table, which is hurtful for country, and it's not diplomacy. This is literally, number one, full-blown business style bullying, like you want something from me, and you are here, I am here, and I want to give this to you, so you have to kiss my feet. This is also what he's saying. You are not in this position. You are not in this position, meaning you are here, I'm here. That's not diplomacy. That's not how governmental relationship or foreign relationship works. God damn it, why am I not the president? Because I should have run the countries, because this is not how world diplomacy, policy works, right? Foreign policy. You need to sit down and treat presidents in the same way. Just because he is in the war doesn't mean he is to be belittled, which he didn't even start the war. So it's unbelievable what later he turned this into. The language, look at the language.
It's very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to you.
Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
There's
This
a lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire
today.
meeting, have you said thank you?
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania
Look,
and
look,
campaigned
look.
for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation to the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that
This is just unbelievable. Like, do you see the JD Vance? Like how this is what narcissists do. They turn and twist the things, everything into pretzel. And this is like kindergarten stuff. I swear to God, like it's kindergarten stuff. Did you think? But did you say this? Did you say that? It's like a kid, like a kid's fight, you know? This is just mind-blowing to me. And Zelenskyy, he's like, what am I doing here, right? Like, I don't need this. I don't need to be bullied by these people. And he stood his ground, and he didn't cave in, which many people thought, including myself, that, oh my God, I hope he won't give in. And he didn't, because he knows exactly what's the point here, what they are doing. It's literally primary school bullying, because he's like, but did you do this? Did you thank him? Like, do you even watch the news? This guy, for I don't know how many years, every single time, does he even look like a person who would never say thank you? I mean, he is absolutely, of course, grateful. In every single meeting and every single conference, he says a million times thank yous. Even I know that while I'm not even watching him speeches, because I'm not a super fan of him. But in this case, he is 100% right in any shape, way, or form. Okay, let's put this on the side. We also talked about why this is so unfair, because it is extortion. Because of course he would not give up his he agreed to give up his precious minerals from his country's assets just to be able to get this war stop. And he is right saying that, listen, yes, but I also need some guarantee. And no one actually answered this question. Neither JD Vance nor him. And turns out Marco Rubio was there too, which turned out to be later in there as well. So the question he was asking also is like, listen, we signed with Macron, with Merkel. Don't even get me started with Merkel. Maybe we'll do another video with that. But oh my God, Merkel is the reason why Germany is in this situation right now. If you want me to do a video on this, drop this in the comments, give a like, what have you. But there's a reason why Germany is in this situation. And I'm from Germany, so don't even get me started, okay? So in any case, he says that, even with Macron and with Angela Merkel, we did sign this ceasefire, but he doesn't just hold himself accountable and doesn't stop. He still keeps breaking these ceasefires, right? And he is right to us, listen, I give up my country's valuable assets, but how do I know? Like, what will you do? Because we are sitting on the table. You want me to sign, but how do I know he will not break this agreement? How? He is right. Do you know why he is right? Because he wasn't even sitting on the table with them. So basically, Trump and JD Vance, Trump was sitting with Putin on the same table, negotiating for Zelenskyy, like for Ukraine. What? This is not a business. This is not like a child, like, two parents, negotiate who will get the child's custody, whatever. This is not that. That's not your kid. Neither of your kid, right? This is a country. This is a country with valuable assets like gas, like, oil, what have you, and minerals. So you cannot treat him as, I am the parent and this is the kid, so we will decide, with like puppets, what's going to happen with our kid. Who is get what from our kid, who get the kid on the weekends and on the full days, right? Something like that. But this is a country. So you must, if you want serious conversations, then 3 of these countries must be sitting on the table. Otherwise, this is extortion, because out of nowhere, United States says, oh, you know what? Let me, I will help you, of course, but of course you give me like a big chunk of your pizza. because I just want it. And, you know, what should Zelenskyy say? He has to say, because if I were, listen, literally I was thinking like 2 days ago, because I was watching when these two were meeting, my stomach like turned. I was like, what would I have done? Like, if I would have been in a situation, God forbid, in Zelenskyy, it would have been, because you know me, right? Like, I am totally against unfairness. You know me for following me for so long, right? And this, for me, it would be so stomach turning, because it's unfair. It's unfair. Why would I give up? And imagine that you have to give up on something that's someone would take away your home, for example, or your car. You're like, you just give it to me. You're like, what? I worked so hard to get this. Like, I saved and saved and saved to buy my house. Now you're saying, let's say now government comes and say, you just give my house, or just your neighbor comes in, excuse me, I think this area is my area. You're like, no, it's not. You're like, yeah, this happened to my parents, actually. One of our neighbors, like for 8 decades, long ages of neighbor said, excuse me, this area, actually your garden, piece of your garden is ours. And my parent like, what? No. Where did that come from? Out of nowhere for decades. And they're like, yeah, like there's a wall and stuff, right? And they're just like, no, this piece of your garden is ours. And then the back neighbor also says, oh, by the way, this piece of your garden, back garden, is mine too. And you're like, where the heck? Then people come in and just out of nowhere say this piece of your yard is mine. Screw you. Of course not. But they insist. And so this is real life stuff too. And imagine if someone does that to you. I remember my parents, they were insisting. And they're like, excuse me, just go away. No way in hell. There's this gigantic wall, and how dare you, right? I remember those times, and I just couldn't believe it. And the same thing happens here. Imagine this is a country and people are dying. People are dying, children are dying, and they're in prison and what have you. And he showed literally, and Trump was interested, and he understood in the beginning the side of Zelenskyy and Ukraine, and it's like, oh my God, And that was a good entrance until what happened? Until narcissistic J.D. Vance intervened, and then he put the fire on, lit the fire, and then the fire lit, of course, with Trump, and then he backed away, and then the fire went off and blew it away by everybody. But again, Zelenskyy didn't give up, and that was a good thing that he did. I think he did really well in just standing his ground. But also what I found it very heartbreaking is that later I saw a picture when Zelenskyy was moving, actually a video when Zelenskyy is getting out of the White House alone, getting into the car. My heart broke so much, like I could have cried, because I don't think anyone deserves this type of treatment, particularly not from J.D. Vance. Like, what are we talking about? Did you think? Like, are you kidding? I mean, see, people are so coming. I see this a lot with other governmental, like for other countries too. People who, and Elon Musk too, right? People who have severe childhood problems, and severe unhappy people, like terrible, I guess, life or whatever, or maybe they were bullied. I mean, you can tell, right? I mean, Elon Musk even says, I was bullied, and now he's doing this stuff. I don't even want to get started. Like, Twitter is the toxic place ever. It used to be Facebook, now this is Twitter, right? And it's getting worse and worse and worse, and lies and more bullies and more bullies. And I am so sick of this. I am wholeheartedly unable to watch and to just to see bullies like this. And when I watched this, my blood was boiling. If you know me, you know that I can't swallow unfairness. I just can't. And you also know me that I am on nobody's side. I only speak the truth and how I see it, and that's what it is. But, and do the analysis, putting things together. Here, it is absolutely, really, really stomach turning and blood boiling how someone unfairly is being attacked by two people, and literally like a childlike style of bullying. And we are talking about, again, a country. We are talking about a president. We are talking about the level of respect that needs to be given, not like a business transaction. Here, you want this from me, and you are not in this language of, you are not in the position. You are not in the position. Like, you want something from me, you're not in position. You are here. You have to kiss my feet. This is just, oh, like the language. This is not a business transaction. Somebody has to shake these people up. Also Elon Musk, also Trump. This is not a business. This is a government, and it has to be run like a government. And we will talk another video, and I will end this here by saying that I will make another video, particularly just for how the Elon Musk is actually running all of it and why he does that. Because Elon Musk thinks that, like the Silicon Valley style, startup style, smash it to the ground and build it from the top. They don't understand how government works. And he million times admitted that he didn't understand what he was looking at. I mean, it is not easy. If you ever looked into, for example, in a university, right? You know, I was academician for so long, but half of my life. So if you apply for grants, at Harvard, we had a fantastic, like, I loved her to death, a grant manager. She was literally running and managing the entire department as grants. Government's grants, NIH grants, and whatever grants, every grant you get, foundations, what have you. Oh my God, it's just the data to even look at. I mean, I'm a scientist, to even look at to that complicated budgets and what have you, and all the data and items and overhead and whatever percentage here and whatever percentage there. And I, to date, even though I run a nonprofit, the budgets, the overheads, the calculations, I mean, I can write grants like crazy. Like, give me a grant, I can write a grant. But the budget stuff is just, and if you deal with large, I even looked at, do you know Toastmasters? Because I was part of Toastmasters in the leadership. So because it's an international, gigantic nonprofit, And in the annual meetings, because we are voting members, we had to look, and they presented us with their gigantic budgets and the sheets and the data. And you're like, what's this? And so what I'm saying is, it's not easy. It's not, I'm a scientist, but you have to be in that to be able to understand how everything functions. Even sometimes when I was one time several years ago wanted to run for office, okay, and I know somewhere in our city a representative in the city representative, and I know several now, but this was like from several years ago. And so even when I talk with her, for me, when I look at bills, right? When I look at the bills and sometimes in the Congress, how they're just doing all the stuff and the votes and these and that, it's just too, like, it's just too much, like too much to even just to train and learn and all of that. I wouldn't mind it, but it's just another scale. It has nothing to do with, like, I don't know, give me, for example, a scientific research article, any kind, and I can figure that out. But that type other stuff, governmental stuff, is a totally different, stuff that it's not that easy. And I say it as a scientist, okay, from Ivy League. So that's completely different stuff. So he million times mentioned that I didn't even understand what I was looking at. So we did, oopsie, a mistake, and we blocked Ebola fundings, but whoopsie doopsie. So we put it back together. So guys, we are screwed up from left and right by these for-profit business people leading our country and tearing our country apart. Please, guys, wake up and please respond to my action calls, call to action videos, because again, call your representatives every freaking sick day, because they need to serve us, and if they don't serve us, you're out. We need to make sure that we are out. I want to also later analyze some way of Democrats are dealing, particularly Jeffrey Karim, oh my God, what's his name? Hakeem Jeffries? Yeah, I think Hakeem Jeffries, I think this was his name. What is he doing? Okay, and I will make a video on this, because the way Democrats are moving, these career Democrats like Jeffrey Hakeem's, oh my God, what's his, that's, yeah, you understand what I'm talking about. This is crazy. Nothing will come out of the way he deals with it. And it's so long he's the leader of the Democrats in the House, I'm telling you, nothing will change, and the Democrats will do nothing. These are career politicians. Watch how Kareem Jeffries speaks. He speaks like a tortoise, right? Like how tortoise will go. He is absolutely, you can tell, super disinterested in doing anything. Why? He's a career politician. You can see it, you can smell it, and see it and hear it from 10 million miles away. The way he talks is just like, so don't even bother me, right? The way Democrats are moving, these career Democrats, nothing, I'm telling you, nothing and nothing will happen. Nothing. That's why it's our job. We cannot rely on these Democrats doing stuff. No, they don't do crap. These career politicians don't do crap. And I mentioned this before in my Starlink. You must watch the Starlink video, because the Starlink video, I reveal everything. I have revealed everything. And in that video, I mentioned to you also, it turns out in life, it turned out as I was reading it, everything happened, a lot of things. The way this accumulated and it led us there with Elon Musk and everything else was with the Biden administration. They let everything slide like a maniac. And the more we let these career politicians, either side, run our lives, we are doomed, guys. We are absolutely doomed from left and right, from upside. We will be turning upside down, inside out. And that's exactly why we, the people, I keep talking about we, the people, because it's the time for the next 20 years for we, the people. We need to tell the government officials that you doing what we are doing, what we want you guys to do, or you're out. You're absolutely out. And that's how it works. And now the final call to action is, please watch my video that I posted, the short version and the long version, about how Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security has been cut. I focus on Medicaid, and for 72 million Americans, because it includes healthcare as a whole, and therefore it is absolutely critical. Unfortunately, with only 2 votes, it passed the House, and now it was on the Senate floor, and we must call the senators. We must call the senators. Only 2 votes, and guess what, guys? And who didn't? One of the Democrats didn't even vote. Didn't even vote. I don't know what the heck happened, but didn't vote. And that's unacceptable of how something serious like this. And one of the Republicans voted no. If we could have had two more of Republicans also voted no, this would not have passed. But I screamed like my lungs out. But that's why you please share my videos, and please do take action, because we should not be feeling that we are bothering our representatives. Screw them. If they don't do what we want them to do, screw them. Midterms are coming out. And that's how it works, because we have the power, and this is democracy. And guess what, guys? With that bill that's being passed, there will no longer be democracy. And that's the truth, and that's the fact. Just literally read it, and I will post it on my blog post, which is not yet ready yet, but I'm working on this weekend, because I have some technical stuff that I hang up with, and so hopefully this weekend will be ready. So that's my take, guys, and I will see you on Sunday morning, Sunday live as usual. And if you have any questions, or if you have any comments, please let me know. I would love to hear from you as always. And thank you so much for being here. And don't let any of these medias, news outlets manipulate the situation. When you see, my recommendation is always, what you saw is what you saw. And don't let other, YouTubers or media channels manipulate you into, no, that's not what you saw. This is what you saw. Screw that. If you watch the video, you watch and make your own mind. I always recommend that. And this is how everyone should do it, not by rewatching other people's things. And you can say, but I'm watching you. Yes, but I recommend also go back and watch the full video, so that you can also have your own mind. You don't have to agree with me. I'm just doing the analysis, how I interpret it, and how the media is manipulating and misleading, because Trump didn't start it. J.D. Vance started it. like a literally like narcissistic way. So with that being said, thank you so much, guys. I wish you a beautiful Friday night. I cannot believe it's already Friday, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Sunday morning. Bye bye, guys. Bye bye.